Okay, well, I think we can get started. Today's meeting is being recorded, so we can always share this out with our neighbors after the call for those that aren't able to join us. But thank you all so much for being here. I know this month is very busy, not only with school fully underway, there are just so many events and activities for the fall season. So thank you so much for being here. We did have to postpone our meeting. It was scheduled for last Monday, but we postponed it to today. But we will be back on schedule starting November. The second Monday of the month will continue to be our meeting time, unless we have any suggestions or recommendations for moving that to a different time. But for now, we'll keep it for the second Monday of the month. So with that, we'll just do a little bit of housekeeping. Just a reminder that today's meeting is being recorded, but Alyssa, if you can just walk through some of the, hold on, let me advance this. There we go.
Yeah, hi everyone. So ways to participate for tonight's meeting. If you would like to raise your hand, you can do that and we can call on you and unmute you. And another option would be if you want to ask your question in the chat box. So we'll be monitoring those throughout the night. And then if anyone is dialing in, not using the Zoom app, dial *9 to raise your hand and then dial *6 to unmute yourself. And then if Spanish interpretation is needed, it is available. Si alguien necesita interpretación en español, sí está disponible. Si pueden escribirlo en el chat que lo necesitan, lo puedo empezar. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. And I didn't introduce myself, sorry, at the beginning of the meeting. My name is Irene Cabañas, and I am the president of the Willard Neighborhood Association. And good to see we have a couple of board members, Bianca Marquise and Gail Olivos, joining us.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. And then we have Ricky Prieto joining us as well from the Public Safety Division, and he'll welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. We'll dive into a little bit more about public safety in a minute, but just wanted to pause and welcome everybody. Bienvenidos a todos. We always like to remind everyone that we are a volunteer organization. You know, our neighbors got together during the months of COVID and seeing what change we could make in our community. So the more neighbors that get involved, the better. So I highly encourage you and we welcome you to join us. We do have a general Gmail if you'd like to send us a note or a message, but the best way to stay connected is through social media, whether it be Facebook or Instagram. We tend to stay pretty connected there and share out any relevant information about the neighborhood, and also on Nextdoor. So please look for us there. We also like to begin our meetings by reiterating our mission statement. It helps keep us focused. And let's see, we have the Willard Neighborhood Association's goal is to make our neighborhood better through safety, beautification, and community activities. So it is our goal to not only create that sense of community, but also focus on public safety, finding ways on how we can improve the beauty and charm of our neighborhood, and then also plan a few community activities that the whole neighborhood can enjoy. Okay, so our meeting today is to update you on some very important activities and events that are coming up. And we'll break it down into two categories. The first set these are Willard neighborhood initiatives that we started planning since June. We had a planning meeting in June. And then the second half will be some upcoming events that are happening in the city of Santa Ana. Many of them are happening locally here in Willard, but we wanted to make sure that you know that those are coming up. The first initiative that we're going to talk about, and this was something that was talked about in the September meeting, is the need for traffic safety. And so a few months ago, Alyssa Ventura's office, the Neighborhood Initiatives Office, helped us secure a speed meter on Parton Street. And so we were able to track and, warn people or just bring awareness of their speed just on Parton Street. But now we want to take that to the next level and identify how can we create some traffic safety in our neighborhood. And there was quite a bit of discussion as far as those areas that are of concern. One that came up was Parton Street, starting from 15th Street all the way down to 10th Street, certain times of the day that, people use that as a drag strip, if you will, and rev up their cars and are really just driving at unsafe speeds. And there was also some concern of some of the intersections being used for donuts and folks driving recklessly there. So the plan is to put together a traffic safety committee. And what this committee would do is evaluate the streets that are of concern in the Willard neighborhood. We would, because it's, for those of us that live on Parton, that's the street that we're most concerned with, but there may be other streets in our neighborhood that are also concerning. And then part of that evaluation can be looking at data. Where are the streets that have the most infractions? Have there been accidents? Have there been pedestrian incidences or bicyclists that have been hit? And the plan would be to connect with the Santa Ana PD public safety and with traffic engineering to gather all of that data and identify what are those areas of concern. And then together we would set up some priorities for our neighborhood. So that's the plan as far as how we can develop or create some safe streets. And somebody had brought up, let's just install some speed bumps. There are many other steps that can be taken. Here's an example of one, the photo that you see on the left. Those are speed cushions. And speed cushions have been used in other communities in Santa Ana, and they've been shown to work. So that could be a possibility. And there's some other things that can be done as well. So I'd like to open the discussion out to everyone, or to if those who would like to comment on their thoughts on some additional things that we should look for as for the safety committee, and also an invitation for those that would like to join. I have two neighbors that have already expressed wanting to be a part of this traffic safety committee, but we'd love to get some more volunteers. So I'll open it up to questions or comments now.
Irene, can you explain, just maybe for me, maybe I'm the only one that doesn't know, what is the difference between a speed bump and a speed cushion? Or do you know?
I don't know, but let's see if Mr. Prieto, do you have some information on the difference of these?
From my understanding, with the speed bump, it's more of a permanent decoy, or what, to prevent speeding. With the cushion, I think you could remove it at some point. It's easier to remove, but it still serves as a purpose to slow down the drivers in that area.
And I believe too, they are, because there's a precedence for them being installed already in some communities as recently as 2 months ago, a speed cushion, I believe is more along the lines of what the city is moving towards.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for that.
Gay, can I ask a question? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead, Gay.
So I think that one of the one of the decisions would be cost. And I'm just assuming here that it's cheaper to install the cushions than the permanent speed bumps, because that'd be asphalt and blocking off the street, and it seems more work involved than just providing those cushions. Does anybody know?
That's a great question.
And the reason let me get what I'm alluding to. I know that with the One Broadway Plaza, some of the requirements was that the developer had to improve the streets. That was one of the requirements of the agreement when the city approved the One Broadway Plaza. And I'm just wondering if, and maybe it's not of course not the call to do it, but something to keep in the back of your head is that, one, will that be implemented? When will it be implemented? And can the speed bumps or cushion bumps be implemented at the same time? Because I know that was a cost that Caribou Industries had to incur when they began to build the One Broadway Plaza. It's just food for thought.
Those are two great points. So I will add the cost of a speed cushion, what that compares to a speed bump. And then what the traffic and roadway contingencies were for the One Broadway Plaza construction.
Irene, I also wanted to add, if you guys have any like traffic related comments, you could invite like a traffic engineer, to your next meeting. Or I'm not sure if you'd want to discuss more as to what your traffic safety committee would entail, and then like invite them. But either way, we can make that ask if you'd like. And then I wanted to update you that I reached out to Sergeant Shin regarding the data, the traffic information data for your neighborhood. So I'm still waiting to hear back from him, and their radar trailer as well. So we're just waiting to hear back from Public Works.
Okay, great. Yes, I know there is a very detailed database that has all of that data, but I had asked Alyssa's office if they could pull some of that information for us so that we can make a more informed recommendation. But that's a great idea, to invite a traffic engineer to our next meeting to help answer some of these concerns.
One more quick question. Would the Willard Neighborhood Association, would we be responsible for the cost of either the cushions and or the bumps? Or is that something that we're going to request that the city provide because it's a safety issue?
Yeah, that would be entirely on the city. So again, that could be a great question for traffic engineer in terms of like where they get the funding for it, the time it would take, so yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question to ask. Okay. I can also comment what this committee might look like. So it's not necessarily that we're going to have formal meetings. The way a committee typically works is those volunteers that would like to be a part of the committee put together like a planning document, and I can certainly help with this. But for example, if like a survey is needed where we go and take photos of a certain street or walk the neighborhood to get additional feedback from other neighbors, this committee would help lead some of that. So those are the types of things that they would do. And then at our next monthly meeting, then they could present what some of their findings are, or if they've had meetings with the various departments, what some of the updates are. So any other questions at this point? And volunteers, that's really what I was hoping for, is to get one or two other volunteers to join this committee. Or if if someone would like to nominate someone, I'm happy to reach out and give them some more information.
I'll reach out to a couple of my neighbors at in my condo complex and see if there's somebody that is willing to step in and help with that.
Great.
Miss Irene, I also think that maybe St. Peter's Church, they might want to have some input on that, because those affect everybody on Parton really. And them being a church and really considering the safety for the children and for the people that attend their services, I think they would definitely want to be a part of that. So it'd be nice to probably extend the invite to them. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Well, you guys know, I don't have to tell you. The cars race down our street like it's crazy. And it's just a matter of time before, something happens.
No, I agree. That's a great idea. I'll definitely reach out to St. Peter's Church. And then there's also the Willard Neighborhood Task Force that we can reach out to. And I wonder if part of it is that, you know, part of the Parton Street is the Willard Intermediate, and because it's a public entity, I don't know if folks think that that's like a, I don't know, no one will care because there's a school there, but it definitely, it seems to be getting worse, and I don't know if it's because it gets later, darker, earlier. But yes, this will be a high priority for our group for sure.
I mean, obviously I don't live on Ross, but when I'm coming up Washington or 15th, I don't see people nearly at the same speed on Ross that I do on Parton. And so I don't know if it has anything to do with the school or not, because if it had something to do with the school, you would think that Ross would be the same way. But I don't know, for some reason, Parton it's wild. Like you said, from 15th to 10th, and then they stop right in front of my house and make donuts and act like a fool. It's scary. It's really scary. So.
No, it is. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. So just to recap next steps, we'll put together a list of questions like the cost of speed cushions, who would be responsible. We'll also ask, is the One Broadway Plaza construction, what are those traffic or road contingencies, and can we tap into some of that? We'll connect with a traffic engineer and look into having one join our meeting next time. And then we'll also reach out to St. Peter Church and the Neighborhood Task Force to see if there's some interest there, which I'm sure that they will be interested in this initiative. Why don't we pause here and talk about just public safety in general? Any questions or concerns? Ricky Prieto is joining us from, I'm sorry, can you say again the office you're from?
Directed enforcement.
Yes, directive enforcement. Any updates you'd like to give or comments for our group?
I would like to offer a suggestion. Like what I've been noticing is a lot of these neighborhoods, they have frequent flyers where they have certain vehicles that are, frequent, violators who are speeding in the area. So if you notice there's a certain vehicle and you know where they park, or if you could capture like a license plate, that really helps us as far as, finding out who these violators are. And we could do further follow-up, to give them a ticket. And because often a lot of times when we show up, they're gone. So if we could find out, oh, this vehicle is parked here and they're the ones that are causing the donuts, or if they're the ones that are, going through the roadway, at a high rate of speed, it makes it easier for us to focus on that car and where that vehicle is coming from, so we could catch them before they, violate another offense.
I had a question, Officer Prieto.
Yes.
Our office received, there's a resident, their neighbor has a car that has like a loud muffler and they have it recorded on their ring. Is that something that you guys can enforce as well?
Yes. Obviously, we would have to catch them in the act in order to enforce it, but we could actually go, knock at the resident's door and let them know, hey, these are the type of complaints that we're getting. If we catch, with loud exhaust, or if we hear you revving your engine, that obviously we're gonna have to take action. And hopefully that will help solve the issue. And if she continues to do it, if she does it like at a certain time, or he, then let us know so we could be around there around that time.
Okay, can I forward you that information that I received? They have the address of the.
Yeah, send it to my email. And this goes for the group. If you guys have any questions or concerns, if there's like, even if it's, about, because I know there's a lot of gangs in the area as well. If you guys got any tips, or if there's anything you guys want me to look into, by all means, send me an email. I'll give you guys a chance to grab a pen to jot down my email real quick. And if you need more time, let me know. All right, it's RP RIETO at Santa-Ana.org. Once again, it's RPRIETO at Santa-Ana.org.
That's great. Thank you, Officer Prieto. We'll definitely add that to the notes here in the chat and make that note and available for neighbors as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I'm here for you guys. If you guys need anything, don't be afraid to reach out.
Great, thank you. One more public safety / neighborhood issue update that I wanted to provide everyone. So as we've mentioned before, the Santa Ana app is really great for being able to notify the city about graffiti in the area. There is one particular area that is directly across the street from Willard Intermediate's parking lot that has been tagged, but it happens to be inside of an apartment complex behind a gate. So the Santa Ana office that takes care of the graffiti notified us that while they've made note of the graffiti, they can't go in and remove it. It has to be done by the property owner. So they are handing that off to code enforcement, who will then send a note to the property owner. So that's, I thought, something interesting to note, that while maybe the city can't go in and take care of it, they will hand that off to code enforcement, and then they'll take it from there and try to get that resolved.
I had a quick question. If we see graffiti, I've seen graffiti on some of the apartments right here on Parton. If it's on the outside, will the city take care of that? Or is that because it's on private property, will the city not take care of that?
What I was told, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm curious. If it's on the outside, will they take care of that?
I can add a little bit of comment to that. What I was told is that if it's accessible from the sidewalk and viewable to the street, that they can, even if it's on private property. But once something is behind a fence or like it, I don't know, the inside of a garage or something like that, and trash cans as well, they cannot go in and do that. That's waste management that takes care of that. Officer Prieto, I don't know if you have any other comments on that.
Yeah, usually with the graffiti, if it's anything on the exterior or it's accessible, from my understanding that they're pretty good about, removing the graffiti. But it seems like if it's like inside a locked structure or behind a locked fence, then it's a little bit more difficult for them to get into that. So it's going to be on that property owner to get rid of it, or even the citizens that live there, the community members. I mean, if they could go in there and remove it themselves, I don't see why that would be an issue.
Thank you for that clarification. Like I said, I've seen it on the apartments, and because it was private property, I actually didn't submit it, but I will now. So yeah, that's good to know. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you, Officer Prieto, for being available and providing your email address. We'll definitely keep you on the loop on some of these updates.
Sure, sounds good. Anytime.
Okay, let's move on to another exciting initiative of ours. So we, as part of our planning, have always wanted to put together a concert in the park style event for the community, an afternoon of live music so that we can get together, get to know each other a little more, enjoy some live music, a free family-friendly event. And Ms. Gay Olivos and I have been in planning for several weeks. First, we started off with Willard Intermediate to see if the event could be held there. It had to be moved to a different location. So we are pending final approval by tomorrow, fingers crossed. But I did want to let you know about the date in case this event does get approved. We're calling this event a Tardeada de Música. And Tardeada in Spanish means an afternoon of family togetherness and an afternoon of music. So it's slated for this Sunday, October 24th from 4 to 7. And if it does get approved, it will be on Parton Street. We applied for a road closure from the corner of 15th Street to about my house, which is just about 200 yards, right by Willard Park. So that's how we'll promote it. It's on Parton Street, right by Willard Park. If it does get approved, the street closure would be from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And so we've already checked with our neighbors that are affected, and they've agreed, yes, this is a great event to have. And let me tell you a little bit more about what the event would entail. So just the one caveat is it is pending final approval. Once we get final approval, we'll have flyers quickly made. We'll send that out digitally, and we'll also have some nice big posters made so that they can be advertised there at the park and get the word out. So as a neighborhood association, we're inviting our local community to a music in the park style event. We don't have a park per se, so we're doing it in the street, which is, I think, awesome because it's very common in Mexico to like close down an alley or close down part of the street to hold like a block party. And this is similar to what we want to do. So we're inviting local Willard neighbors, friends, and community partners to join us for a family-friendly event to listen to live music. And the theme of this is celebrating Hispanic heritage. So we're inviting everyone to bring their own refreshments and their lawn chairs. So if you want to bring a picnic, it is a family-friendly event. There is no alcohol allowed though, because it is on public property. And we're planning to have a wonderful live band play music from 4 to 7. And they play everything from cumbia to salsa to, banda music, a little bit of English thrown in there, some oldies and top 40. Again, it is a free event, 3 hours of live music. And we are planning to have a craft table for kids to make some crafts. And then just, again, an opportunity to meet our neighbors. We are looking for volunteers. We do have a plan for setting up the equipment and the items that we're going to set up, but it's more about being available to connect with everyone in the community. We're also looking for volunteers to help get the word out once this gets approved. So with that, I'll pause and take any questions. And if you'd like to volunteer now, definitely raise your hand, and the more the merrier. Any questions, comments?
Will there be booths and stuff like with community groups, or it's just a stage and come and hang out kind of thing?
No booths for this time around. We looked into different activities. For example, we were looking into having like a food booth, selling food as a fundraiser, but there are several additional approvals that are needed for something like that. So we thought, let's just make this about the music and about the community, and everyone can bring their own food. That there's, yeah. So for this time around, no booths. We do plan to have a table for kids to make a craft. Okay, so we'll keep you posted. As soon as we get more details and this is finalized, we will send a flyer out. And again, the plan is to create a couple of posters so that we can get the word out quickly. Sunday tends to be a pretty calm, relaxed day in the community. So we're hoping that we can get some nice participation. Again, this is our first time doing this type of event. We're going to do it on a smaller scale. And the plan is that for next year, we can do it on a more grander scale, maybe close the entire street, have booths and that type of thing. Okay, This is another initiative that we are part of. So in our planning, for those of you that recall, St. Peter Lutheran Church became a partner of the Neighborhood Association very early on. They very graciously donated to our organization to help get us started and help with all of the community outreach that we were doing. And so we planned together a holiday event. They're planning a holiday event and invited us to be a part of it. So this is the information now. They've nailed it down to Saturday, December 18th. From 5 to 8 p.m. They are planning a live nativity scene and candle lighting. So it's for the whole community. They plan to have a live nativity scene that recreates the manger, possibly with kids participating in part of this, and they're looking at some other activities. But wanted to send this out everybody to save the date. Our participation in this is we're hosting the dessert table, providing dessert and coffee and champurrado, but some of the other initiatives that we need help with, and we're not necessarily sponsoring, but I did want to bring them up to see if there are any ideas. They are looking to do a toy giveaway. And I know sometimes the Santa Ana PD does toy giveaways. So we wanted to look into, Officer Prieto, if our location could be one of those designated locations, or if there's some kind of partnership we could do there. And the other thing that they're looking at is what kind of musical entertainment could they have at this event? And so I'm going to connect with the Willard Intermediate. They have a mariachi group, a student mariachi group that I thought would be great for them to perform at this nativity scene and candle lighting event.
Either Willard or Santa Ana High School, and or both, because the kids in this neighborhood go to those two schools. I think that would be a great way to showcase some of the musical talents in this neighborhood. Santa Ana High School's band is incredible. So if we could get them involved too, I think that would be great.
This is Gay. I can go across to El Sol as well. They normally have their teams ready for the holiday season. I can go and see, and their children, of course, and when they're within the Willard Neighborhood Association, I can go across to them and maybe get a commitment. Also, back to the toy drive, my organization, the Latinos of AT&T, we give out toys during the holiday season. I can go across to my team and see if I can get some toys delivered or toys donated. What are the age groups? And we can talk about that later, but I'll go ahead and reach out to my team tomorrow and see if get the communication out. Beautiful flyer, by the way.
Oh, great. Yeah, this was put together by St. Peter. That yeah, no, I'm very excited about this event as well. Yeah, thank you, Gabe. I will ask about the age groups. That's a great point. We should know. I think the goal was 200 kids, but it's good to know what the age groups would be, or the target. And then Bianca, yeah, great idea on Santa Ana High School. I forgot that they're so close that the kids from this neighborhood walk over there. So I will also, we can reach out to them.
But you know what else might be a good idea, Irene, is sometimes if you, I know a lot of people that I work with, they don't want to do the shopping, but they donate the money, you know, the gift card or whatever. And maybe we could keep it simple with, I don't know, maybe donating, I don't know, shoes or, I don't know, dolls, or if it's specific, maybe it might be easier. It's just an idea as well during the holiday season.
That's a good point, like certain categories, possibly jackets, maybe.
Yeah, well, normally we get a list from the foster children, and they give a kind of a wish list of what they like. And a common pattern that I see are shoes, pajamas, you know, those basic necessities. I know it's not a toy, but the kids are just extremely grateful, you know, mittens and caps, you know, stuff like that. So it's all good, no matter what it is.
Okay. Great, those are all good to add. So for this event, we'll also be needing volunteers just to man our area where we're handing out desserts, and then, you know, what type of desserts do we want to hand out? Do we want pan dulce or cookies, or we can talk about that. But those that are interested in participating in this would love to get your help volunteering and also just being at the event. And as the event gets closer, we'll definitely help promote this. And I see I listed 2 English flyers. There is an English one and a Spanish one, so I'll make sure to get that out to everyone. Okay, so that covers some Willard neighborhood initiatives. I did want to share out some other initiatives that are happening in Santa Ana, many of them here in our local community. One that we've shared in the past, and it's coming up, I can't believe it's already October 23rd, is the 5K run. So that is taking place very near us off of Civic Center Drive as part of and Flower Street is part of the route. But I believe registration is still open for this. It's this Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. But it's also good to remember that there will probably be some street closures. I don't know, Officer Prieto, if you know if that will be the case, but I know this event is coming up quickly.
Yes, there will be street closures. I'm actually going to be out there helping out for that event. I'm not exactly sure the route, but we will have those streets closed, whatever route they will be taking.
More specific information is on the website. I could add it to the chat, but it actually has what streets are going to be closed in the route of the 5K run.
Okay, great. Okay. So another initiative that's happening that's important to our community is the city council is holding some redistricting meetings. So the city of Santa Ana, as you can see from the photo up on the upper right-hand side, is divided into different wards. And basically a ward is like a section, so that every ward has a similar amount of voice in the community, and every ward is represented by a council member. And so our ward is Ward 5, and our council member is Jonathan Hernandez. But they're holding meetings to talk about redistricting and remapping of these areas. Alyssa, I don't know if you have any comments or any additional information about this process.
Yeah, so like you said, the new census data, it has to be done. So yeah, as much input as you can provide. I know the previous boundaries kind of cut off neighborhoods. So I think that would be important to bring up if you want your neighborhood to stay whole, certain in a ward boundary. So yeah, provide as much input as you can. It's really important. Yeah.
So that there's 3 more meetings coming up, but the one that's closest to us, if you want to attend in person, is Friday, October 29th at El Salvador Center on Civic Center Drive. And so, for example, as Alyssa mentioned about keeping the communities intact. So the Willard community currently is very different from, let's say, like the Flora Park community, and initiatives that are important for them are different than what's important for us. So we can have our voice heard about, you know, what community should be stay together so that a ward doesn't get cut off. For example, Willard doesn't get cut in the middle by a certain ward. So I'm still learning about this whole redistricting process, but just extending that invitation to anyone that would like to participate. I plan to be there on October 29th, but if you're available as well, these are the upcoming dates.
Okay, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Is this redistricting affecting Willard? Do you know, Alyssa?
Yeah, it's affecting all the neighborhoods, all residents in Santa Ana.
And okay, is it because it has to be done every 10 years? Or
Yeah,
because
so
there's Go ahead.
Yeah, so if there's like a change, say there's an increase in population in Willard, so that's very important. I know with the new census data, I believe there was, but yeah, that's why it's so important because things change within 10 years. So there could be more population, so it'd require, you know, more like the boundary to be more fine within your neighborhood. So yeah.
So Alyssa, one question I think I know what Ms. Gay's why she's asking is, do we, at these meetings, is there a proposed new map that will be reviewed, or is it only feedback from the community?
That's a good question. I'm not sure, but I know some community members have come prepared and they're like, this is what we want as a boundary. This is what we believe needs to be represented. So yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't attended them. I know they haven't been too well attended, but yeah, that's a good question to ask. We could reach out to the clerk of the council if you guys would like.
Well, it sounds like to me that, and I don't know, it just sounds like to me that if they're gonna start redistricting the boundaries of what constitutes or the latitude and longitude of a certain neighborhood, then maybe it warrants a new council seat. Because I would think that the council members that we have now cover all of the neighborhoods or the wards. So it sounds like they want to create maybe a new ward, which in turn would create a new council member, is what I'm thinking, because it's still in my mind. It doesn't really make, I mean, if it ain't broken, why fix it? Maybe it's just protocol. They have to do it every 10 years, maybe for documentation purposes to meet up with the funding. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Something just doesn't sound right. I don't know. I got to go to that meeting.
Yeah, those are very good questions, Gay. Yeah, that would be a really good question to ask.
Okay, Alyssa, if you can help us with that to find out our proposed maps shared at this meeting. And so do these meetings, will there be public comment?
Yeah, I think that's the point of the meetings. Yeah, to get input from the public.
Okay. Great, yeah, as more information becomes available, we'll definitely share it out for this. Okay, another initiative we wanted to share with you, St. Peter Church, in partnership with Bracken's Kitchen and the Willard Neighborhood Task Force. We've seen that they've have held a few of these already this year, but they came out with a really great calendar to promote their free food distribution days. And so they not only provide a hot meal on this particular day, but you can also receive a box of fresh food. And so please share this out with your neighbors. This is open to any one in the community, especially the Willard neighborhood. It is meant to benefit those that live in our community. And this is the information. I believe you do have to register in advance. So the registration information is at the bottom, but these are the dates that are scheduled. Basically, it's every one Tuesday a month from 6 to about 5:30 to 6:30. Well, the schedule changes a bit, but the schedule is noted here. Okay, I think we have one more. Yes, this is another event we wanted to let you know about. This is also St. Peter Church in partnership with the Willard Task Force. Saturday, October 30th, in the morning, they have a harvest festival that they're planning, just a fun family activity. They're planning to have face painting for the kids, free resources from local businesses. And then they're also going to get a treat from the Santa Ana PD. And I know I believe that they're looking for harvest decorations, if anybody has any that they can share, or they're willing to give, like pumpkins, hay bales, anything along those lines. They are looking for any kind of harvest decorations that can be shared out. So wanted to let everybody know about this event coming up this Saturday, or in a couple Saturdays. Okay, and then lastly, our next meeting, it's not October, it's going to be November 8th. Second Monday of the month, 6:30 p.m. But that wraps up our meeting. Any other updates, questions, comments?
I have a quick question, and this may be something that we can talk about offline. I don't know. I did see on Instagram last weekend, I think. I don't know. There was something at the zoo where a bunch of little libraries were painted and presented. And I remember in June, some of the kids at our June event were putting their hands on a library. Is that something we have to get a permit for to put up? Or where is it? I don't know. I guess I want one for our neighborhood. I think that would be great. And I know we did one, so I just was wondering where it was at, or if we need to go.
I have it.
Oh,
I have it. I have it in my backyard. I can put it, because I'm a property owner, I can put it on my cemented on my lawn. And so I've already looked into a contractor to come out and put it in the front off of the sidewalk. But it had to get approval from the water guy and some other things that were going on. Yeah. So it's ready to go.
Cool.
I just have to get the cement people out here to cement that front area where, right in front of, like, the sidewalk area in front of that.
yeah.
Yeah, they have to dig it up. It's a little bit more than just putting cement there. It's not going to be a portable. It's going to be a permanent fixture in front of my home.
Awesome. I'm super
So,
excited. I know that
yeah,
literacy is as a teacher, that's really important to me.
of course.
So that's exciting. That's good for the kids in our neighborhood. And I pray that the kids in our neighborhood respect it. I know that there have been some other instances where little libraries have been damaged, and I just hope that that doesn't happen to ours, because that's heartbreaking. But all right, well, thank you for the update.
I
didn't
know.
where it went,
I know.
what was going on. I didn't know if the city put that up, or if we had to do that, or whatever, or you or me or whatever.
I have to put it up. Yeah, I have to put it up, and I want it done right. So
Yeah,
I have to get a cement guy out here.
awesome. Cool. Okay, I was just
Yeah,
wondering.
okay.
On that note, Bianca, if there's an interest of a second location, I know I can check with the person that organizes that, but at one point back in June, they had more than one library per community. So if there is interest of a second library, we can certainly look into that.
That would be amazing. Unfortunately, I'm not a property owner, but I will speak to whomever I need to speak to. If we can get more of those in the neighborhood, as much as we can get kids off of computers and devices and all of that, the better, in my opinion. So even if we can just get them talking to each other, I think that would be a huge win.
Okay, no, that'll be great. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why having this fall music in the street event or music in the park type of event was important to us, to get the whole community talking to each other. I know there are, in this process, we had to go to each neighbor on Parton Street to get permission to be able to close the street. And some neighbors I hadn't even talked to in years. So it's so important for us to talk to each other. That's why these meetings are important. So I thank you all again for taking your evening for this meeting. But yes, we will update you on the event for the Sunday. We'll send a notice out tomorrow with an update if it's approved, and then we'll quickly get a poster out and get the word out. But if you are able to volunteer, even just if you're able to come out for an hour or two, we greatly appreciate it. Love to see you all in person. But with that, I think we can conclude our meeting.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank
Great.
you, Irene, for everything. Thank you for spearheading this.
Yeah, thank you, Irene, for everything you do. All right, ladies and gents, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you. Bye-bye.